Hello everybody. We're going to do some more videos on this Harig Electrospin. I got this from my good friend Daryl Smith, and what it is, it's for grinding parts between centers. Now I'm going to do things a little different. Instead of having your traditional center like this, it's pointed, mounted on both ends, I have over here what I call a reverse center. And what you have over there is it's nice and ground, everything's nice and concentric, real nice finish. And what you can do is you can take your part at this point. Well, let me back up just a little bit. What I've done is I made these little centers, a bunch of these up, and I've took these ceramic high precision balls. I would center drill on this end, and what I would do is I'd done that on both ends, and then I would super glue these silicone balls inside that. And then what I would do, I would have these in between and grind these between these reverse centers so that this shank right here and the center line of the ball are matching real good. And then I can cut these in half with a ground size, and then I can press them into this just a real light press fit into this test piece right here. So basically what you're seeing right here is one of these that is finished up. It's mounted in there. And so what you can do with these reverse centers, they'll ride on this silicone ball. And if I get my hand out of the way here, but they'll just ride on that silicone ball. One of the weak points of this fixture is it's got a flexure point over here. And so if you have the regular traditional centers mounted and you got to adjust some of your taper out, there's a chance that the center line of this center is not on the same center line as that. And the further off they get, the more problems they will cause. And so if you would exaggerate, you could end up, you know, with the center riding like that, and the other one straight into the part. And what will happen is that it negatively affect the part because it's not going to run as true, and it can introduce problems in it. The nice thing with this reverse center that you have, no matter where this flexure point is, you're riding on a tangent point of that angle in this ball, and so you're always going to be riding on that tangent point, and you won't have that problem. So it's something new to me. I know they've been doing this on some in the industry on some other things, but this is new to me. I'm going to be playing with it, seeing what the accuracies I can get. And today we'll do a little bit of grinding. I'll get this set back up in between. We'll do some grinding on that. I'll take some cleanup cuts, and we'll check the run out of the part. And if you look at the previous video, the way this was set up with its the type of drive that they used, it was introducing a lot of noise in the part, especially on the drive side. So what we'll do is we'll get this set up. I like to use this white lithium grease number 2 for my centers. It's a lighter grease, and it works pretty good. And let's see. And the drive system I got, I'll be changing that in the future too a little bit. I'm just playing with it right now. But anyways, you can get this, pull this back, and load that in between there. You can adjust your spring tension on the part with that. And so that will drive it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up on the surface grinder right now, and we're going to take a light cleanup cut. I don't know where the taper is at. I'm not concerned with that, but we'll just ink this up and take a little bit of a cut, and then we'll come back to the table and we'll measure how good the run out is at this point. So we'll set up on that, and we'll come back to the video in a bit. Okay, we got this set up right now, and like I say, we're just going to check and see what the run out is on this, going between the balls rather than centers. So I got her inked up, I already got the digital set to 0. I like to not cut this direction because it's spring loaded, and if you take a heavy cut, you can move the spring. I like to cut driving towards the solid side. We're going to be getting close over here. I'm using an aluminum oxide, an RR46 grit wheel that's a porous, we call them a porous way. It will grind nice and free without putting hardly any heat in there. We're taking roughly about a 1/10,000th of an inch per side, about 2 total. And again, I'm not concerned about the taper. I just want to clean this up so we can see the run out. It looks like I got a little bit to go on that other side there. So we'll come back. This is where digital works real nice when you're kind of blinded by what's going on. There, that spark that you're seeing right there, that was winding down 1/10 total per side, 2/10 actually total, 1/10 per side. When I say tenths, 1/10,000th of an inch. And so you can see it does throw a pretty good spark with even that little bit. And it is almost cleaned up all the way at the end. You can see when we're blank passing, coming back, is grinding nice and even. And if you can see the sparks in the video, you see they're nice and even. If I remember right, on the other video, you didn't have that nice even effect on it. So when you get that nice even spark on there, then you know everything's grinding real nice, grinding nice and round. And if it's an uneven spark, it means it's grinding heavier at some points than at other points. And if that keeps varying as you grind and taking light passes, and then it means it's probably not setting in there proper. There, one more 1/10,000th of an inch per side. And again, look at how consistent those sparks are. What's that? This motor only turns in one direction. Adam was just asking what direction we're turning. So it's actually grinding in the wheel, and I actually like to spin it the other way. But with this design, this is just all for testing purpose. It's the only O-ring of that size that I had. All that stuff may change in the near future here. And what I'm doing right here, we'll show you after we grind this and check it, but I've had another project now that I've been working off and on the design aspect for probably the last year, that hopefully we're going to start making a nice YouTube series with, and we'll show you what that is here shortly, but it will be definitely related to this. So what we'll do is we'll do a couple blank passes, let that spark out real nice, because what we're wanting to do is check and see how good of a run out that we can have with this unit. We haven't been making a lot of YouTube videos lately. There's a reason behind that. One, we've been trying to catch up with some of the orders that we have, but two, a lot of people have been asking, so I'm going to just talk about it a little bit here. I'm not fishing for sympathy or anything, but just for people that want to know what's been going on. About the last year, my thyroid, I've been on thyroid medication since I was about 3 or 4 years old, and they switched the thyroid medication to a different medication, and that didn't go very well. And again, when you switch the thyroid medication to get it dosed just right, it's a long haul. You're on it for about 3 months. They do some blood works, they make some adjustment, and then you're about 2 or 3 more months, and then they'll make adjustments. But what was happening was, with me, I was just getting fatigued real easy, and I was getting to where I could sleep a whole night, get up in the morning, do about an hour's worth of work, and I'd have to go back to bed. I've never been fatigued like that in my life, and it was just getting worse and worse. So we went back to my standard medication, a brand name, and things started improving a little bit. When they did some tests, the medication I take in the thyroid, it's a medication that makes a T4 thyroid, and that T4, your body will actually turn it into T3. Well, my body was no longer turning it into T3, and so, like I say, it was getting really bad. I could only function maybe a couple hours a week. It was a struggle. So when they finally put me on T3 as well as the T4 thyroid medication, things started improving quite a bit. But it was still a long haul. They're still dialing that in. This has been going on, like I say, for about a year now, and I actually feel really good right now. But it wasn't the thyroid meds. My daughter, she started doing some research on the internet, and she found out that when your thyroids get messed up, a lot of times it will affect the adrenal gland and its function. And so she was reading me some of the descriptions when she looked at that, and they wrote it better than I could describe myself. And so they had some supplement treatments and some other things I won't go into because I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to recommend anything, but you can look up on the internet on that. There's a lot of good information if you're interested. But anyhow, we started doing a few things with some supplements and aroma stuff, and it was incredible how fast it turned everything around. And so right now I'm feeling quite good. I'm going to just take one more blank pass. I'm feeling quite good. I bet I'm about to 90% of what I used to be. And I started a part-time job doing 6-hour days, 5 hours a week. And that was kind of scary at first because I just started these meds a few days, or not these meds, but these supplements a few days before I started the job. And the first week I'd work for 6 hours, and I'd come home and I'd go to bed for about maybe 1 or 2 hours, and I'd get up and I'd be back in bed by 10 o'clock. And that was my first week. And these supplements, as they started kicking in, the second week I was working the whole day and I was a little tired, but I didn't need a nap. The third week I felt almost normal. I could actually go longer than the 6 without any problem. And so anyhow, because of type 2 diabetes, I was trying to monitor my blood sugar, and I didn't know what kind of effect that these supplements were having on that. So I went off these for about a week just to see, and it doesn't seem like it affected that much. But then I started slipping back to that point where I was getting exhausted very easy, and that was on the weekend. So I quickly started taking them again, and I know it has to be working because now I feel great again. So anyhow, we got this sparked out real nice. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and then we'll pick up on the video back by the granite table where we're checking this under the indicator. Okay, we tried to get the indicator set up so that wouldn't get much glare. I put a blue marker down here so that you can see the parts actually spinning. I'm not touching yet. I'm going to try to go for 0. That'll put me right halfway in my indicator reading. Looks like I might have had a little dust on there. Because if you look at that right now, that indicator just barely twitching. I bet it's, oh man, I bet it's about 5 millionths. Just taking a guess. Over there, you don't even see a movement. It's just as solid as it can be. And right there, I don't know if I got a little dust. I think I had a little dust on there now, because if I do that, you can see it sitting on there. It's just about dead zero in the center, and you got maybe about a 5 millionth twitch from one end to the other. And there it looks like there's hardly anything, so. I'm gonna move over. Yeah, seems like when I get right up on the high point, and then I get a little bit. But like right there, I'm showing nothing. There I'm showing nothing again. And there it's showing nothing. So as it spins a little bit longer, it actually is showing it just about as perfect as I've ever seen it so far. So anyways, that just shows you how round the part will come when you grind between centers. Now, last video I mentioned that we can make these tooling. Well, really not tooling balls. These are just inserts that would be pressed in to either false dog on the part or into the part itself, depending if you can have it. Just like what I have here. Like I say, this round part is the same diameter as that, and it's like a 1/4 inch. Just ream the hole and popped her in there, and that's all we're using to hold that on. But I'm wondering, now I'm going to set this so I'm not moving around. If Adam can get up there and zoom. Oh, I got grease on my fingers. I'm trying to get a place where I didn't smudge it. I don't know if he's even going to be able to show you how awesome that finish is on the camera. But that's one of the nicest finishes that I have already have gotten on that. I brought this in to my part-time job when my boss wanted to see the different finishes of the part. I used a CBN wheel. I just dressed it off. It's a resin bond, and I ground about half of it, and I had aluminum oxide on this part before. This finish is nicer than what I had before on the aluminum oxide, as well as that part that was CBN. But the CBN, we had a 17 finish, and the aluminum oxide we had a 12, and this one actually looks even nicer yet. So it's amazing the finish that we have on there. So anyways, I want to go over and show you the project that we're going to be working on. We'll probably be doing a YouTube series. There may be some others involved on this too, and so we'll just show you what's been on the CAD design for about the last year with some of my spare time, that just about ready to start making parts. Okay, so what I had in mind before Daryl got this unit for me, I had mind of making my own, and it'd be a motorized one, but I thought if I'm going to make one, why not make it and mount it on a sign plate? So now I can actually grind with angles. I can grind just regular flat stuff. And then I was thinking too, why not make it so that I have attachments? So this tail stock and the head stock, both of those can come off. And then I can actually mount a couple other pieces in there, a stationary jaw and a movable jaw, and actually make it a sign vise. So with this unit, we're going to end up having a motorized spin fixture, but with the sine function. So if you want to put a 30-degree angle on something, you can kick it up at 30 degrees, 45, whatever you want. We'll also have the sine vise capabilities, as well as you can make custom tools to fit on there. You know, it wouldn't have to be just a sine vise, but then you can use it as a sine plate as well. And so I have it about 90% drawn, and you can see that, let me get this so I can spin it here and zoom up. You can see I got the reverse centers that this will have, and then you have on the other side, you have a normal center. This unit, you'll be able to use it both ways. And for adjusting small tapers, let me get over to the headstock. I don't have a center in this yet. But this whole unit, I'll have that so that it can slide up and down, and it'll be trapped, you know, in both of these axes. But then this whole unit will slide up and down. And what will happen is I'll have a fine adjustment mechanism on the back using, if you look at some of my earlier videos, I made a, I'll just call it a wedge type adjust tool that you can get some very fine adjusting in. So it'll go up and down, and then I'll have this, the center that's mounted through this hole will also be one that will be spring loaded, and it will be adjustable. So that you can, you got a lever or a plunger or something that you can pull back, and you can put your part in between, and then it'll be right in between spring pressure. So this is the next unit that we're looking at building. The design that I've done on this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm going to try to get it so that I don't have a gap cut all the way in the bottom of this plate as going in the top, but you'll have a certain thickness right here. It'll be that shape on the end to lend it some strength. I'll probably not go all the way through with that as well, just to keep strength in both ends. But the design that I got set up for holding your rolls in here, you can see as I move it and get it just right, you can see the different rolls. They'll be going on with ears like so. Let's see, you can probably can't see that part. Let's see if I can get, yeah, that's inside there, so you can't see that. But let me take the bottom plate off here a minute. Yeah, maybe you can see a little better this way. But the design that I'll have this, it'll make it easy to grind this in and get it just perfect. So it'll be extremely high precision sine plate, sine vise, and sine spin fixture. And again, it's something that we're kind of excited about. There's going to be a lot of work in this, a lot of pieces, a lot of labor. But we're hoping to do a YouTube series on that build coming up here in the near future. And like I said, there may be others that may be involved in this as well. So anyhow, just something to look out for in the future. And what we're going to do now is we're going to head back over to the granite table. These little units right here, they're designed, are we hot? Mm-hmm. And these little units here are designed to replace those centers, so I have balls in there. So if you do have something, and if the centers are big enough, you got to be careful. You don't want a small center, but if you got something with a larger center that's already in there and the centers are good, you can actually grind there and work off the tangent point of an existing center as well. And it should improve the results. This unit, again, was made I made a couple pair of these, I think 3 of these, and so they started out like this, and this is what they are when they're finished. And what we're going to do in the next video, we're going to actually show you how to make one of these. And I've done all the work right there in the mill, but we'll make one of these, and these are really not tooling balls. You can make them into tooling balls. All you have to do is you'd have to control the shoulder over here to the ball height if you wanted to make it with a standard size tooling ball. And the thing is, they can be used as a high precision tooling ball regardless of that height, as long as you know what the distance from there to the center of the ball is. And you can do that. So what we'll do, they're very easy to make, and probably the next video we'll actually just go through step by step on making these units. Because when you get a unit like this, and if you're going to grind the way I'm intending, I'm going to have quite a few of these. The ceramic balls, they're very cheap. I think they're only a couple dollars a piece for a very high precision ball. So I'm using A2 drill rod, so the cost of these really is not that much, and the labor is not that great, because if you make a whole series of these things, the cost of it or the labor is not that much if you divide it up. I got different drivers. What will happen is, you can see this right here. I just did it quick and dirty. I popped this on there. There's a 3/4 inch hole inside there, and I just put a little super glue on there to hold that in place. What I can do is I can do just a little tapping, that comes right off. This diameter on this part is 3/4, so I can slide that inside there, put a little super glue on it, and now I got 3/8. I got a 3/8 diameter jack. And then I got a little locking screw so that I can lock it on a 3/4 inch shoulder, like so. You can lock that on there. And then I got one for a 1/4 inch, and that'll be probably about the smallest I will make with these balls. I have to get smaller balls if I'm going to make something smaller. But like I say, the things are simple to make. They're cheap. I've just used, I mean, you can use 01 if you want. If you wanted use steel balls or carbide, you can actually, instead of gluing those in there, you can actually silver solder them, or silver bronze, whichever you prefer. You can silver solder them in there, and then they'll be a little bit more permanent. So anyways, that will be it for this video. But main thing I wanted to show, compared with the last video, and I'd have to go back and look at it, but the round out, especially on the drive side, using that cog wheel, was very noisy. With this right here, it came right out. And like I say, you can just rub on the surface a little bit and you know, get that steady. It could have been the interference with the grease between the balls there, but you get it steady, and it was just running, like I say, incredibly close. In the worst case scenario, maybe 5 millionths bounce, but like I say, when you rubbed on there a little bit, and then it just quietened it down, it was right there. The indicator needle wasn't even moving in all 3 spots. So I'm excited about it, because it's an incredible accurate way of getting your circularity on your parts better than any other device that I currently have. And grinding like this with this method on the surface grinder is just super easy and super fast as well. So that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching.